Did Jesus ever tell people to go to church? The question isn't new. People have been wondering this for centuries. Do Christians have to go to church? In a recent Instagram reel, David Goggins claimed that God's chosen ones don't go to church at all, and that sparked a lot of reactions. Here's what David Goggins wrote in the description of his Instagram video. He calls out people who publicly talk about God while harshly judging others, holding people to standards they don't hold themselves to. His frustration isn't with faith itself, but with hypocrisy. And that matters, because Goggins isn't claiming church is bad, he's reacting to what he's seen from people who go. So the real issue here isn't attendance, it's judgment. And when church becomes a place associated more with condemnation than transformation, criticism about going to church cuts deeper than almost any other kind. Not because church is meaningless, but because it claims to represent something eternal. But this raises a deeper question. If church is meant to reflect Christ, why does it so often become a place people feel judged by him instead? Why do so many people associate church with judgment, shame, and pressure, when Jesus was known for mercy, patience, and invitation? Somewhere along the way, something shifted. And to understand what went wrong, we have to step back, past modern church culture, past buildings and services, and ask a more basic question. What did church actually mean in the beginning? In the beginning, church wasn't a building, a service, or a weekly obligation. The word used in the New Testament, ekklesia, means assembly or gathering. Early Christians met in homes, shared meals, prayed together, cared for the poor, and followed Jesus' teachings as a way of life. There were no stages, sermons, or Sunday schedules, just people living out faith in a community. Going to church was never a thing to begin with. Do you agree with that, or do you think church as we know it is still necessary? Let me know in the comments. Jesus never told people to go to church. He told them to follow him. When Jesus began his ministry, he didn't gather people into buildings. He gathered them around tables, roads, and homes. He said, "Follow me," not "attend this place." In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Matthew 4:19. There's no building, no service time, just relationship and direction. Jesus also made it clear where God actually meets people. In Luke 17, he says the kingdom of God is not coming in ways that can be observed. Nor will they say, "Look, here it is," or "There, for behold, the kingdom of God is in the midst of you." Luke 17:20-21. The kingdom of God is here within us. We don't need a church to reveal that to us. In fact, the only time Jesus explicitly mentions church using the Greek word ekklesia, he doesn't describe a service. He says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them." Matthew 18:20. Jesus is talking about presence, not programming. If church is central to Christianity, we should expect Jesus to command it clearly. But what he actually commands is following, loving, serving, and gathering, not attending. That distinction changes everything.
Don't talk about it, be about it. You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. Practice what you preach. Stand up, big boy. Do you know I love you? You can't get this in any other church in town. You stay awake and you listen to me.
first words in Jesus' gospel are, the kingdom of God is inside you and all around you, not in the buildings of wood and stone.
Oh, with God's people, we're moving in harmony. But when you're the straggler, you're at a distance, you know?
By the way, only 4% of my viewers are currently subscribed, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. After Jesus, Christianity didn't stay small. It spread fast, and it spread under pressure. And because of that, structure became necessary. In Titus 1:5, Paul explains why he left Titus behind. He said, "This is why I left you in Crete, so that you might put what remained into order and appoint elders in every town as I directed you." Titus 1:5. That wasn't about forcing attendance. It was about leadership, protection, and guidance in fragile communities. Church structure didn't begin as obligation. It began as care. Church, at its best, does something that isolation never can. It turns belief into practice. It gives community instead of loneliness, accountability instead of self-deception, wisdom instead of guessing your way through faith alone. This is why structure mattered in the first place. Elders weren't appointed to control people. They were there to shepherd them, to guide, to protect, to remind people they weren't meant to carry life or faith by themselves. Church was never meant to save you, but it was meant to shape you, to catch you when you fall. When church looks like that, people don't have to be told to attend. They'll actually want to go. And this brings us back to David Goggins. What he was reacting to isn't church at its best, it's church at its worst. Not community, but comparison. Not shepherding, but superiority. Goggins isn't rejecting faith. He's rejecting judgment, dressed up as righteousness, a version of church that measures holiness by attendance instead of transformation. And if church is supposed to form people, not shame them, then his criticism isn't an attack on Christianity. It's a warning. Because when church reflects Jesus, people gather freely. And when it doesn't, voices like Goggins are going to keep calling it out.